like pause. Woody's World brought to you by, sponsored by Shanahan's. I was waiting. Pause. Shanahan's Steakhouse. Every Sunday night, specifically, that's a bad word for me. Dinners include steak or seafood. Seaweed.
You need help with this?
Yeah, barely. I think the energy drink is cutting in. Dessert, all of that for $49. You're trying to figure out what all that was. It was seafood or steak, a side dish, and dessert. You take the dessert home with you. Make a reservation today, right now. You can leave us at shanahansteakhouse.com. Go on a Sunday night. Go on a Tuesday night. That's a good time to go, is on a Tuesday night. You and I go on weeknights mostly.
Sure.
Boy, you go on Friday, Saturday night. That is an A crowd, isn't it? Oh, Woody's World. I forgot. I'm sorry, Jimmy. Let's go. Oh, there's nothing for me to read. I thought there was a teleprompter. Today, the big news a couple of days ago, Chris Borland, and you brought it up in the opening. Chris Borland, at the age of 24, he made about $560,000 last year as a rookie. And he's decided to take that money, $500,000, and go off and find another world. Not Woody's world, but his own world. He's fearful that something could happen to him in his health and that he might have concussion issues. He's had 2 concussions in his life, one when he was playing Little League football, one when he was a sophomore in high school. Why are you rolling that? I could read that. Citywide Banks. Who's your Cinderella in this? If I'm reading the teleprompter, it's right in front of me. So can I look to another camera? It's in front of me while I'm trying to talk about Chris Borland. So the question is he a hero? Is he a villain? Is he going to bring about change in the NFL? Is this the beginning of the end for the NFL? Several years ago, I was talking to a former NFL player, and I'll leave it at that because it was a casual conversation, and he said he'd spent almost 10 years in the league. He said to me, Woody, because he spoke to me rather than to himself, he said, Woody, in 35, 40 years, there's not going to be a National Football League. And every time this concussion issue comes up, I think about what he said to me. Could that possibly be right? Boxing has gone away in this country. So many of the great boxers of the 40s and 50s and the 60s and 70s would not be boxing today. They wouldn't want to participate in a horrific sport like boxing. That's not the only reason why boxing has fallen, but could football become the new boxing? Don't think so. Fantasy football is going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Gambling gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Television money gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The players get bigger and bigger and bigger. Pittsburgh Steelers team doctor, and of course he is prejudiced because he does work for a team in the National Football League, says studies have been done and that concussion-related diseases that kill you occurred 63 times among young people over a 3-year period recently. That sounds like a lot, but when you consider that millions of kids play football on the Little League level, junior high and high school, so if you say 63 cases out of 5 million players around the country, that really isn't that significant. He did say also that trying to find ways to reduce that number, but that when you consider that number, it falls in line with other diseases that kill people in this country. Is football going away? Is this going to change football? No. It was a singular act by a young man who decided that there were other things he wanted to do in life, and he was concerned about his health going forward. He had read enough, he had studied enough, he knew enough about concussions and what they could lead to in the NFL. Could be other reasons. And I still will always believe that Lyle Alzado, who died of brain aneurysm, that was a result of the PED use. So I'm not a doctor, but I think there are a number of different reasons that unusual causes will lead to death for football players. But obviously, getting concussions is going to devalue the quality of your life as you move forward. I believe that the solution, and nobody ever pays any attention to me, the solution to the National Football League is that you stop wearing helmets. I think that's the solution and people laugh at me, but I really believe that if you study rugby in the world, and there have been studies done, particularly in Australia, where rugby is such a major sport, and it shows that the number of concussions in rugby without a helmet is significantly less than the National Football League, where the helmet is used as a weapon. Will this change Borland's Act, change the National Football League? No, it won't. Will it have an effect of having more discussion about it? Probably. The NFL will tell you that the game is safer today than it was 10 years ago. I watched a week or so ago a documentary that featured Dick Butkus, and what I think is going to change football is that Dick Butkus made more incredible hits on running backs and quarterbacks than anybody I've ever seen in football, and he always led with his shoulder. Somewhere on the little league level with those coaches in junior high school, in college, coaches have to teach to lead with your shoulder or with your hands and not the helmet and not your head. I'm Woody Paige. That's my opinion.